On Wednesday evening, Arsenal will be taking the trip across London to go play West Ham in the London Stadium in the EFL Cup round of 16. This, of course, is our second EFL Cup game of the season, with our first one being the 1-0 win against Brentford with the goal coming from Reiss Nelson. And being that we kind of had a mixture team, like with some bench players and some starting players against Sheffield, then you kind of think that Arteta is going to do the same thing against West Ham. If we had seen our full-strength team against Sheffield, then you would assume it'd be a full-strength reserve team or bench team against West Ham. But like I said, because of the mixture, I assume we're going to have some rotation, but a lot of it is going to be normal players that we're used to seeing. So in today's video, we will be discussing the matchup and the potential starting 11 that we may see in the game, and how I think the game will unfold. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Gunner Central here. I hope you're all doing well. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, comment your predictions in the comments below, and let's get into this. Now, as for Arsenal's form coming into this game, we have lost 1, drawn 1, and won 3 in our last 5 games. Obviously, our last game was that beautiful win against Sheffield United, where, to be fair, we weren't outstanding, we didn't play that well, but I mean, Sheffield was just so horrible. It was pretty easy for us to go out and win 5-0. Our last EFL Cup game was that 1-0 win against Brentford, where, looking back at it, you kind of think we weren't that great. Like, we had that goal from Reiss Nelson, and you thought, okay, cool, we could probably win big now. We have an early goal, but we didn't. We just didn't really play that well. Yes, it was a heavily rotated team, but we didn't play that well. That was also the last time we saw Ramsdale play at all for Arsenal, so hopefully in this game we can see Ramsdale play against West Ham, because I honestly think, I mean, where did he finish? He finished 8th in the Yashin Trophy, which is for the best goalkeeper. He finished 8th, and then he gets replaced without even making a mistake, and now he's a bench warmer. Like I said, I'd love to know how Ramsdale genuinely feels about this, but I won't be upset with him if he's pissed off, because the situation he's found himself in, he recently extended his contract over the summer with the team, and now he's just a bench warmer for not even doing anything wrong. He's just a bench warmer. If I was Ramsdale, I'd be really upset. Now, West Ham's form coming into this game isn't too good for them. They've won 1 game, they've drawn 1, and then they've lost their last 3, all in 5 games. It's not looking good for them. They're winless in their last 4. They had a really good performance against Newcastle, where they probably, I mean, I know they left it late, but it was a tough game for Newcastle. Newcastle probably were the better team, but West Ham battled back. I think it was from 2-0 down and got a 2-2 draw. And then since then, they've just looked horrendous. They got smashed by Aston Villa 4-1. They got beat by Olympiacos 2-1. And then they just lost recently at home 1-0 to Everton. Yeah, the relegation-threatened Everton. Listen, I think they're going to come out, and I think they're going to put in quite a strong team against us. So like I said, I don't actually think that it would be a clever move to throw out a fully rotational team, because of the fact that I'm expecting West Ham to put some good players out, because they know this is a good chance to get back to winning ways and to kill the losing run even that they're on. So I expect, I have a funny feeling that they're going to put out basically their full strength 11, but we shall see. Now, as for how this game will go, I don't actually know. I usually have a good gut feeling before every game, whether it's good or bad. I have a gut feeling that usually turns out right. I don't know. I think this is going to be a close game. It depends the teams that we see. I don't know. I'm leaning towards maybe an Arsenal narrow win. But again, let's say Arsenal put in a decently strong team and West Ham just sack the game off and put in their reserves. We should smash them. But it depends. I expect West Ham, like I said, to put in a full strength team. And I expect us to put in our quote-unquote mixture team, where you put some B team players in with your A team players. But I expect an Arsenal narrow win. Don't hold me by it, because I might flip-flop this one, because I don't have a gut feeling for this result. So now, as far as injuries and suspensions go, we'll start off with Arsenal injuries. We obviously have Jesus, who is rumored to be out for the next couple of weeks. So unfortunate, especially for how good he was against Sevilla. So unfortunate. And the same for Partey. Surprise, surprise, he's usually always injured. And he's also going to be out for the next several weeks. Now, the Martin Odegaard injury is quite, I don't know how to take it. So apparently he had a knock, and that's why he didn't start against Sheffield, even though I think it was just rotation. Maybe he does have a small knock, but I don't think it's a knock that would stop him from playing. Maybe that's why he wasn't looking so good recently. But look, if his injury was that bad, he wouldn't even been on the bench against Sheffield. But he was on the bench, which makes me think it's probably a small knock that he can carry, that he can play with. So I do think he'll start against West Ham, being that he was fully rested against Sheffield and he's had a couple of days off after that. But if he doesn't start against West Ham or even play against West Ham, then I expect it to be because of the knock. Now for West Ham, Edson Alvarez and Lucas Paqueta are actually suspended, but this suspension will not count for the EFL Cup game. It will instead count for their next game on Saturday in the Premier League against Brentford. And other than that, there's not too many injuries or suspensions to talk about for West Ham. So fair play to them. They should be pretty strong. Again, I'm quite curious to see what type of starting 11 they put out there, but like I said, I'm expecting quite a strong starting 11 from them. Now onto the starting 11 that I expect to see against West Ham. Like I said, I think we're going to try and find that sweet spot between rotational players and players that have been starting for us in several games. So I think in goal, it has to be Aaron Ramsdale. You just assume it has to be. Last time Ramsdale played was in the last EFL Cup game against Brentford, and he hasn't played a game since Raya basically pushed him off the team. So hopefully we can see some Aaron Ramsdale ball. And he put in a good performance against Brentford. You would imagine that this is a game that he should be starting in. Right back, I think it has to be Ben White. Left back, Tomiyasu. My two centre backs would be Gabriel and probably Saliba. However, I think Saliba does need some rest, so maybe Kivior instead wouldn't be bad. Matter of fact, I'll go for Kivior. I know it's two left-footed centre backs, but it is what it is. It's some rotation. We need to do it. CDM, a man that played a good game against Man City and a decent game against Chelsea. I lie, it wasn't that decent. He was okay against Chelsea maybe. I think Jorginho starts in CDM for me. He's been very good for us when he has played, so he deserves to start. And in midfield, next to Jorginho, I would like Odegaard to start, but I don't think he will. So I think the two central midfielders I would go with is Kai Havertz, because I expect him to start and he needs some, hopefully a goal or an assist or something to latch onto other than his penalty. And next to him, it's a toss-up between Vieira and Smith Rowe. I'm going to edge it to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe was very good on the weekend, played 70-odd minutes, looked very good. I know Vieira came off the bench and looked very good, but I don't know if he's even going to be playing with his baby being recently born, so shout out to him for that. But I would go Smith Rowe, I'd edge to him. However, I won't be too upset if Vieira was starting. Then up front, the front three, obviously I expect Nketiah to start off the back of a hat-trick. There's no Jesus anyway, so you'd imagine that he is going to be the starting striker for us. And as the wingers go, I want to rest Martinelli, I want to rest Saka. I think they deserve their rest. So on left wing, I would put Reiss Nelson. He came off the bench and didn't really do much, but didn't really have much time to do anything. And the games he has started or played a lot of minutes in, he's looked really good this season. So Reiss Nelson starts on the left for me. On the right, I'd have Leandro Trossard. Looked very good coming off the bench against Sheffield, and I expect him to look very good against West Ham tomorrow night. So that's my starting 11. Ramsdale, Ben White, Gabriel, Kivior, Tomiyasu, Jorginho, Havertz, Smith Rowe, Nketiah, Trossard, and Nelson. But with all that being said, I would love to know, what do you guys predict for the game, and what starting 11 would you have for the game against West Ham? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.